Hi, everyone. I'm an experienced design lead on the Airbnb team. I'm going to be talking with you about empathy and design. You might recognize this film happening in the background here. Getting totally design geeky right now, but it's Charles and Ray Eames. It's the Powers of 10 video. And when thinking about this design talk that I'm going to be sharing with you all, how not designing for ourselves can incite better experiences, I immediately thought about this video. It was done in 1977, and I think I saw it when I was quite young, but I have this visual of the couple sitting on the blanket and panning over to the guy's hand and just like spanning out into the universe, and it's quite mesmerizing. And I think for me, it's just like the moment in time when I realized, oh, our universe is quite bigger than who I am and what I think, and that visual really stuck with me, and I thought it was the perfect time to kind of share that. Eventually it goes back to the picnic blanket and back into the gentleman's hand and all the way down to an atom. So thank you for indulging me. I think the Eames folks are certainly pioneers and kind of paved the path for us as UX designers in terms of what form and function can really be, so it's kind of nice to kind of give them a shout out. Okay. So we live in Silicon Valley, so there's a lot of press that we might hear about ourselves. And I was kind of reading this New Yorker article, and it was speaking to a lot of the on-demand services that exist today. One might be able to, and the author was responding to this kind of point in the article where he was talking to an individual, and he's speaking to, okay, we get our cell phone out, we need to get a ride somewhere, we can do that by the touch of a finger. During that ride, we're gonna figure out where we wanna go out to dinner, we make a reservation, okay, maybe we change our mind, we cancel that, and we decide to go back to somebody's place and have that food delivered from that restaurant directly to our home. And so he has this opinion here where it suddenly occurred to me that the hottest tech startups are solving all the problems of being 20 years old with cash in hand because that's who thinks them up. I'm not in my 20s anymore. It's been a little bit since then, but I think the fact that someone's thinking this and this is being put out in the world made me wonder, like, okay, who are we really designing for? So it just kind of made me think about that, and I don't necessarily have the answer for that, but I think it's worth mentioning, and it made me think, okay, yeah, our intuition sucks. You know, it's okay, but it's not enough. And I think what I'm trying to say here is we are the sum of our experiences, and that's great. But prior to working at Airbnb, I was at IDEO, and we worked a lot with design thinking and user-centered design. And I think the biggest part about empathy is just approaching a problem from a different space, from a different angle. And it's amazing how innovative you can be if you're thinking outside yourself. And so really, I think what we were talking about earlier, it's really just a tool, and it's a way of being. And so, yes, we can start with what we know, but let's challenge ourselves to think beyond that. And so by not designing for ourselves, I think we can incite better experiences. At Airbnb, it really starts with our vision. Luckily, we have a really awesome vision, I think. It's called Belong Anywhere. It's quite aspirational. It's also a little bit vague. But I think, essentially, it demands that we step outside our own world. And when we do that, we can often learn more about our community, but in that, we can also feel very far away from them. So the more we learn about our community, we can learn there's different cultures, people have different needs in mind, different visions of why they're using our platform, why they might be hosting. And so we have to work that much harder to bring people together. And when we say belong anywhere, it essentially means that belong anywhere means you feel at home, and when you feel at home, it means you're being yourself. You feel at home. So that is what our team is trying to achieve. It's a lofty goal, but I think we can do it. And we do this in 3 ways. 1, we design for both host and guests who have very different needs. There we go. So like we talked to earlier, we use qualitative and quantitative research to develop host and guest journeys. And so this is just a sampling of what that exists. And When looking at these different journeys, we try to identify specific needs for hosts and guests. Hosts, we heard a lot from them. They want specific business tools. They want to know what they're making across multiple listings. They want to see their transaction history. Also, we offer them a future demand graph, which they're able to see upcoming demand in the area for that given week or that given month. And so this can help them think about how often they want to host. They might open up their calendar availability because they're learning there's more demand coming for their area. Or they might choose, okay, there's not a lot of demand coming. I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going to put up my feet and relax for a little bit. We offer we offer a badge that's a super host badge. Hosts want to feel like they're doing a good job. They want performance feedback. So here we give them progress in terms of how many 5 stars they're receiving, what their response rate is looking like, and their commitment rate. Sorry, I just need a little bit of water. Oh, that's good. Sorry about that. Okay, so in practice, at Airbnb, we design for guests and hosts who have very different needs. But in practice, for all of you, you want to think about extreme users who have different needs as well. Secondly, we design experiences that help guests and hosts better understand one another. So a couple fun facts here. Of all Airbnb users, most of our bookings are non-English traffic. So Airbnb started in San Francisco, but it's become a global company. And so people are needing to communicate on this platform that are coming from different cultures, different backgrounds, and there's a language barrier there. So how can we help them better understand one another? Additionally, of all Airbnb hosts, most of them haven't traveled as guests. And as a company, that's not great. We certainly want all our hosts to travel as guests, but not everybody has money or the time to do so. So how can we help our hosts create more empathy towards our guests? We do this in a couple ways. We do this in small ways, like the host calendar, being able to see who's coming to visit with you, see their faces, see their names, puts a face with the guest that's coming to see you. But we also do this in bigger ways. This is the canceling a reservation, and you can see there's me with my big photo there, like, do you really want to cancel on me? Please don't. But really, rather than getting involved in that sort of cancellation moment, we're putting that between the guest and the host. So technology can often be a barrier. It can make people feel comfortable just canceling on you. What's the big deal? Like, I don't know you, and so that could be often easy. So instead, we created this friction where I need to reach out to you and let you know that I'm going to cancel, and that's really uncomfortable. People don't like that, but it makes you think a little bit about, okay, well maybe my calendar should be more accurate, and I should, this is someone's live. They might be planning for 3 months before this vacation, and so letting them know that, oh well, I made a mistake, that could really hurt them, and then they have to find a last-minute booking. So in practice, find the differences, but also look for the similarities. So at Airbnb, we're looking at guests and hosts, but they also have some similarities involved. They want to know who's coming into their door. As a host, like I want to know who you are, who's coming into my house. Will you respect my place? But as a guest, you also want to know who you're going to visit. You want to know who they are. So there's this they have very different needs, but they also have similarities as well in terms of understanding who you are and how can our design experience elevate the profile and the individuals on that platform? We also design meaningful experiences both offline and online. So most people think of Airbnb as, okay, a place of where you want to rest your head, where do you want to stay? But we're expanding that. We're thinking about experiences as well. A lot of hosts have a lot of expertise in culinary facts, or here they're talking about shopping with a fashionista in Paris. So we're elevating that, and we're helping our hosts create experiences for our guests. And I'm actually leaving on Saturday to go to Paris. We have a a big conference for our hosts where we're going to get together with them and show them our product and receive feedback. And this is the one that is most enticing to me, this graffiti mural workshop. We also connect our hosts. So imagine you're a new host, you're starting out. Airbnb tries to give tips and tricks and hospitality standards, but really you're going to learn more from another host. So here we're connecting new hosts with more experienced hosts. And really, Airbnb is just the connector. So here we're putting them in touch, we're giving them suggested topics, but really it's all up to them if they want to go out for a cup of tea, have a discussion about this, email or talk on the phone. Airbnb is just really the connector here. And then lastly, we have a host in San Francisco. Her name is Kappa. She is fantastic, and she really is kind of the golden star of the super host status that I spoke to a little bit before when I had a really dry mouth. Apologies. But we developed this iWatch, and she simply loves it because what's great about it is not everyone's going to have access to an iWatch, but it's really nice to design for intrusive devices. So here you're able to get a message from a guest, accept it, and then get back to your day. So really, we don't want hosts on our platform all of the time, you know? We want them getting back to their lives, doing what they want with it, and creating meaningful experiences with our guests. And so designing for these less intrusive devices and getting them off the platform is essentially the goal, because we want them to be creating more full experiences. So think of the full experience. Don't just think about the digital touch points. Think about what is happening before someone's going to your device or going to your website and what's happening after. So think about just the real world in that whole story there. And so all of these design decisions are in service of helping anyone belong anywhere. And as designers, I think it's really just our job to cue people up to have a meaningful experience and then just kind of step away. So again, just not designing for ourselves, thinking about how others want to experience your service and let them just kind of go about it as they will. Thank you.